before the word philosopher was common, before universities, theories, or academic debates. There was one man walking barefoot through the streets of Athens, asking a simple but dangerous question: what is the truth? His name was Socrates, and though he wrote nothing, his thinking changed everything. In this video, we'll explore his full life story, his radical ideas, the method he invented, the people he inspired, and the ultimate sacrifice he made. All in the pursuit of wisdom. Part 1. Socrates was born around 470 BCE in Athens, Greece, a city thriving in art, war, politics, and philosophy. His father, Socrates, was a stonemason. His mother, Phanerit, was a midwife, and perhaps that is symbolic, because just as his mother helped deliver babies into the world, Socrates helped people give birth to ideas. He wasn't rich. He wasn't handsome. He wasn't a warrior in the traditional sense, but he would become one of the boldest minds in history. Unlike most teachers of his time, the sophists, who charged money and taught persuasive speaking, Socrates refused to take payment. He lived simply, wore basic clothes, and often walked barefoot. His wealth was not in gold, but in questions. Part 2. The man of question Socrates believed that most people lived in illusion, thinking they knew things when they actually didn't. He began questioning everyone: poets, generals, craftsmen, and especially politicians. He used a powerful technique now known as the Socratic Method, a style of questioning designed to expose contradictions and force people to examine their beliefs. Let's say someone claimed to understand justice. Socrates would ask, what is justice? Is it always good? Does it apply to everyone the same way? And slowly, the confident person would unravel, revealing that they didn't fully understand what they claimed to know. This method wasn't just about winning arguments. It was about seeking truth by peeling away falsehoods, ego, and inherited beliefs. Part 3. I know that I know nothing. One of Socrates' most famous quotes is, I know that I know nothing. Now, this may sound like a paradox, but it's actually the beginning of wisdom. To Socrates, the first step in learning was to admit ignorance. Only by doing that could we become open to deeper knowledge. He didn't claim to be a teacher. He saw himself as a midwife of thought, helping others bring their ideas to light and question them honestly. He asked, what is virtue? What is courage? What is love? And never gave final answers, because he believed each person must find their own truth through reflection and dialogue. Part 4. His students and influence. Socrates attracted many students, especially young men of Athens. The most famous among them was Plato, who would later become one of the greatest philosophers in history, and the primary source of what we know about Socrates today. Plato recorded Socratic dialogues, dramatic conversations where Socrates explored ideas in depth. These texts have survived for over 2,000 years. Other students included Xenophon, who wrote about Socrates from a military and practical perspective. And indirectly, Socrates influenced Aristotle, Plato's student, creating a chain of thought that became the foundation of Western philosophy. Part 5. Trial and Death. As Socrates grew more famous, he also became more controversial. Many Athenians felt he was corrupting the youth, challenging authority, and rejecting the gods of the city. His constant questioning began to feel dangerous in a society that valued order and tradition. In 399 BCE, Socrates was put on trial. The charges? Corrupting the minds of the youth, not believing in the traditional gods of Athens. At his trial, Socrates gave no apology in the modern sense. Instead, he defended philosophy as a sacred duty. He said, the unexamined life is not worth living. He was given a chance to escape death, either by going into exile or remaining silent. But Socrates refused. He said it was better to die with truth than to live in hypocrisy. He was sentenced to death by drinking hemlock, a poison his friends wept. But Socrates remained calm, discussing the soul, the afterlife, and the pursuit of truth until his final breath. He died with the same commitment to wisdom that he lived with. Part 6. Philosophy and Legacy. So, what did Socrates really teach? He didn't give doctrines or rules. He offered a way of life based on questioning everything, living ethically, seeking truth over comfort, choosing the soul over the body, knowing oneself as the path to freedom. His influence is everywhere, in education, ethics, psychology, democracy, and even spirituality. Every time you question your assumptions, every time you reflect before acting, every time you admit you don't know and begin to learn, you're walking in the footsteps of Socrates. Part 7. Final reflections. Let's end where we began. With a barefoot man in the streets of Athens, he had no money, no political power, no army, and yet he changed the world with a single idea, that we must question what we believe. That truth lives not in answers, but in the courage to ask. And that a meaningful life is one that's examined with honesty. So the next time you're unsure, confused, or lost in the noise of modern life, pause. Ask questions, seek truth, and remember Socrates, the man who knew nothing and gave the world everything. If you found this video inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more timeless wisdom and powerful life lessons.